Tonight on the Northwestern News Report, watching the ward races, incumbents and challengers for council seats around the city share their platforms in a community forum.
Plus, hunting for a home, how one organization is supporting African Americans through the Evanston home buying process.
And love is in the air. NNN takes a journey downtown to see all the city has to offer for Valentine's Day.
All that and more tonight on the Northwestern News Network.
It's your news
right now. Good evening and welcome to the Northwestern News Report. I'm Ananya Chugg.
And I'm Logan Schijano. We begin tonight at City Council. All 9 of Evanston's City Council seats and the mayor's office are up for grabs in the upcoming Evanston elections. Many incumbents and their challengers took the stage together at the Evanston Decides 2025 Candidate Forum over the weekend. NNN's Annika Sani was there and filed this report.
Candidates vying to represent Evanston's 9 wards on City Council came together over the weekend for a candidate forum. Taking place just under 2 months before the April 1st elections, the event was a chance for residents and local media outlets to directly question their future representatives.
I hope that they got to learn about the candidates, get a feel, get an energy. Did you believe what they were saying? Do you support what they're saying?
Evanston's mayoral race took center stage towards the end of the evening, with current mayor Daniel Biss and his opponent Jeff Borini debating a number of key issues, including what the role of mayor is in a city where the mayor has no voting power.
On things like affordable housing, not moving is moving backwards because the trajectory is not on our side. So putting all of that together and keeping the city moving forward in pursuit of our goals and values and policy agendas, I think, is a pivotal role that really only the mayor can serve.
Borini took the opportunity to call out oversights in government under Biss's leadership.
And return us to, our chartered form of government, which is weak mayor and strong city manager. And I would hold city managers still accountable, first of all, for filling that role.
Meanwhile, Biss looked to the future and laid out his priorities for a potential second term.
I want an Evanston where District 65 teachers can afford to live, where our police officers, our civil servants, our nurses who work in the hospital can afford to live.
Dozens of community members chose to stay at the forum throughout the Super Bowl game, a true testament to their local civic engagement. In Evanston, Annika Sani, Northwestern News Network.
Election Day in Evanston is April 1st. Early voting opens March 17th.
By the time the new city council is elected, the city will have a new home base for all its offices and meetings. The city is relocating its operations from the Lorraine H. Morton Civic Center on Ridge Avenue to a leased space on Davis Street. After the move, the new name of the city operations will be Lorraine H. Morton City Hall. The first to go is the city collector's office, with its final day at the Civic Center this Thursday. It will reopen next Tuesday at the new Customer Service Center on the first floor of City Hall. All other departments are on schedule to relocate over the next few weeks, with the final opening scheduled for March 31st. City Council meetings will start in the newly designed council chambers on the second floor starting April 14th.
Evanston's reparation program has been in place for nearly 4 years, providing financial assistance to Black Americans targeted by historically discriminatory housing policies. But many in the Chicagoland area say the work to help that community heal from policies isn't done. NNN's Philip Lamb has more on how the Illinois African Descent Citizens Reparations Commission is compiling input right here on Northwestern's campus.
Reparations! Repair the damage! Reparations! Repair the damage!
Here at the Norris University Center, the State Reparations Commission is holding hearings on historic and systemic inequalities affecting the Black community. It's where housing and zoning issues took center stage.
Black families thought they were buying homes, but they weren't. They were charged inflated payments while legally owning nothing.
Film producer Africa Porter says a history of redlining and other discriminatory housing policies in Chicago have maintained the cycle of poverty.
We look at housing as a way of life. South Shore just recently got a grocery store. Could you imagine being in the neighborhood and you don't have a grocery store?
To Porter, housing is inextricably tied to success.
Regular housing looks like single-family homes. It looks like home situations with a mom and a father and children. You know, America would like to say it's a white picket fence, a dog and a cat, maybe a turtle.
But commission members say reparations mean action, not just words.
We have the evidence, we have the stories, now we need the will to act.
At times, speakers shared their experiences dealing with a system that they say was built against them.
Law could be written and then readdressed and then rewritten to still commit the same harm. And we're saying enough is enough.
For Edward Davis IV, reparations strike a personal chord.
As a direct bloodline descendant of two individuals from 1619, for me, reparations is about global repair and local repair.
We landed on housing as a form of repair because of the anti-Black legislative practices.
The commission is hopeful that community members will continue to make their voices heard at upcoming hearings throughout the state of Illinois. Philip Lamb, Northwestern News Network.
All right, thanks, Philip. The next hearing is slated for April in Southern Illinois.
Local nonprofit Community Partners for Affordable Housing is laying the foundation for home ownership. With its Getting Your House in Order series, which kicked off last Thursday, the 5-week program is focused on supporting African Americans in purchasing a home in Evanston. NNN's Lolia Tekla got a glimpse of how participants are nailing down their dreams of becoming homeowners.
Community Partners for Affordable Housing, or CEPA, is helping Black North Shore residents find homes of their own through its Getting Your House in Order series. The program's main goal is to build financial literacy by teaching participants about money management methods, investing principles, and getting pre-approved home loans. Housing counselor Janina Hall says high property prices in Evanston make it all the more important for people to feel comfortable navigating the housing market.
People that grew up in Evanston, they want to stay in Evanston, and there's a lot of African Americans that have grown up here.
In last year's course, Hall says she supported 50 people through the home buying process, including 7 first-time home buyers. She says since the program is specifically for African Americans, participants are able to openly discuss challenges they are facing. Tyree Shambi has been looking to buy a home in Evanston for nearly a year and a half, a process he says has been difficult in an area with historically discriminatory housing policies.
There's not a lot of housing for people of color, essentially, and if there is housing, there's restrictions on them.
Shambi is hoping the series will help him, just like it helped his mother purchase a home 4 years ago.
Like if you tell somebody I want to buy a house, you want them to be behind you 100%. Instead of them telling you it's a dumb idea, just rent.
For Shambi, ownership represents both stability and pride.
We're not unique. We've all experienced some of the same things. And just knowing people that, once you know someone that has done it, it gives you hope and helps you to feel that you can do it too.
Educating participants about the history of Black home ownership, this series is unlocking doors for future Black homeowners. Lulia Tekla, Northwestern News Network.
Thanks for that reporting, Laloya. 3 additional weeks are needed for those looking to purchase a home in the next 12 months. It includes a homeownership fair and walk through pre-approval contract to closing. The meetings require registration and are on Tuesday nights at Robert Crown Community Center.
After this, a look at what's in store for Northwestern's Associated Student Government with 2 brand new co-presidents at the helm. We'll be right back.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
Ready, set, go!
Welcome back. McCormick third-year James Lafayette Jr. and Weinberg second-year Jamal Omani are the winners of this year's ASG presidential election. 4 candidate teams ran in the race, the most in several years. Over 1,800 students voted, with 34% ranking Lafayette Jr. and Omani as their top team for the job. Earlier tonight, I caught up with the candidates-elect. Here's part of that conversation. James and Jamal, thank you so much for joining us in the NNN studio. Congratulations on winning the 2025 ASG presidential election. How does it feel to be co-presidents-elect of Northwestern student government?
I remember last year having the same conversation with Taishia, and it was just kind of exhilarating, even just living through her, and now being in this position myself, I find it still kind of surreal. It still hasn't fully sunk in yet, and I think it will sometime soon.
I'd have to say the same. Before the campaign, I thought that, if we won, I would have been like very energetic, like super celebratory. But I think I'm just now glad for the campaign to be over and ready to actually get to action.
So the campaign, like you were just referring to, was very fast-paced, very short. You guys received a lot of key endorsements from a number of groups on campus, including Fossil-Free Northwestern, Students for Justice in Palestine, 4 members only. How does it feel to have received that support, and what do you think it says about the agenda you hope to advance in office?
I'll start. So I'd say getting those endorsements was not a very easy feat. We met with most of the key groups that endorsed us, and we explained to them our platform. And I think the most important part is that we found out what their needs were and how we can pull together those needs to create policy that'll benefit not just one group or 2 groups, but all of Northwestern. And I think that really set the stage for how we want this administration to continue. We want to have a steady communication with all these student groups on campus. And part of our plan is to actually bring back a position that currently doesn't exist in ASG called the Student Group Liaison, whose job is to, of course, liaise with all the student groups on campus. So, yeah.
Yeah, James, you were here just under a week ago for our ASG presidential debate. There were a lot of things we covered in that debate. One of the things was about funding for student organizations, and you kind of highlighted how important it was for affinity groups to have access to student org funding, while also kind of mentioning that, and perhaps seemingly suggesting that some other groups on campus, such as NU College Republicans, might have a bit too much funding. So, I mean, what can we expect in terms of allocating funding under your administration?
Do you want to start?
I think it's important to note that how funding is done is based on a rubric. And whilst affinity student groups do get priority, at the end of the day, it's based on how well the application is filled out. And I think where we need to focus our attention more so is making sure that these groups are better equipped to fill out their applications and make sure that it follows the adherence of the guidelines. And I think the issue that a lot of people run into is that it's very stressful, especially if you are in an affinity group, having to advocate for yourself when you do that in your daily life as it is. And a lot of these groups also have representatives in Senate, and it's a very stressful process, sort of like a campaign. And I think making sure that we work with them more closely to help them understand the process, I think, can allow us to better allocate funding, because we try to be very just and intentional on how we allocate it, but there does need to be some sort of guideline as well.
Well, we have to leave it there. Thank you both so much for coming in. Congratulations, and best of luck in your administration.
Thank you.
And we'll have that full conversation on our Instagram in the coming days. The co-presidents-elect tell me they'll be sworn in during spring quarter. Ananya?
Since our last show, the Trump administration announced it's suing Illinois, Cook County, and Chicago over their protection of undocumented immigrants. This comes as deportation fears are peaking here in Evanston, where leaders have openly talked about providing a safe haven for migrants. That fear has even made its way to international students here on campus. NNN's Gabriela Umber, her medallion has more.
Students who have temporary status, whether that be Dreamer status, asylum, or student visas, say they're feeling anxious as Immigration and Customs Enforcement continues raids in Chicago and other U.S. cities.
This is really not about papers. This is about the idea that a certain group of Americans, especially like the current president, has about migrants from South America.
Sofia Guerrero is a student from the Dominican Republic studying education and working in the Chicago Public School District. She has been a part of Know Your Rights workshops and has learned how to divert ICE while working in a public school.
They are giving out these cards. They have your rights. It's both in Spanish and English.
Though she has papers that would prevent her from being detained or deported, she recognizes that even speaking her native language on campus can put her at risk.
Be careful speaking Spanish when out with a group of Latin American friends so that you don't get targeted.
Manuela de Oliveira, a Brazilian international student at Northwestern, says she and her peers are taking extra measures to stay safe during this tense time.
I mean, everyone is kind of frustrated in the Brazilian group chats. We've been talking about it, and the general consensus was that the best thing to do is always have either your documentation or some sort of picture of your documentation in hand, so that in any raid or in the situation where an officer approaches you, you can just provide proof that you're fine being here, that you're legal here.
Northwestern's Office of Student Enrichment Services has resources for undocumented and international students available online. SES says undocumented, international, and DACA students should carry their immigration papers with them at all times. Gabriela Umber Medallo, Northwestern News Network.
Thanks, Gabriela, for the story.
We're looking at a winter storm advisory on Wednesday with high amounts of snowfall. More on this week's weather forecast after the break.
Trying to work my way out of the prison system was the most difficult challenge of my life. It only became tangible once I became a Northwestern student.
One, two, three, four.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
Welcome back. It's been surprisingly sunny here for Chicago winter, Nanya.
I really hope that sunshine is here to stay, but I've heard we're in for a little more than a dusting of snow. NNN's chief meteorologist Emmanuel Perez is here and with us in the studio right now. Emmanuel, what can we expect?
Yeah, a high pressure system is currently in place over us, keeping conditions relatively stable. However, cloudy skies persist due to the influence of a massive soaking system that's soaking the southern part of the U.S., but changes are on the way for us. Currently, we have cloudy skies with temperatures being at 25 degrees. temperatures will remain steady in the mid-20s as we are under a winter weather advisory. Locally, our temperatures remain the same. It is 25 in Evanston, 25 in Skokie, 24 at O'Hare Airport, 26 in downtown Chicago, and 26 at Midway Airport. Now, for tomorrow, we're in for a frozen treat. Temperatures will hold steady in the upper 20s with a high of 28 degrees. The National Weather Service in Chicago has issued a winter weather advisory for the entire Chicago-Evanston region. Looking at our snow band projections, the heaviest snowfalls will begin northwest of us at around 9 to 11 a.m. Then that snow band will come to the Evanston and Chicago region between 10 and noon, with rates going 1 inch per hour falling to the ground. As this storm system moves by, the snow will persist to midnight. By Thursday morning, the highest snow amounts will be to the north of us, with Waukegan reaching up to 7 inches. Then in Chicago and Evanston, we're looking between 4 to 6 inches of snow, and for the rest of the region, we're having totals upwards of 4 inches. Looking ahead of our forecast, after Wednesday's stormy weather, we get a brief break from one winter storm. Thursday brings sunny skies and breezy conditions with a high of 26 degrees. However, temperatures will take a dive with lows dropping into the single digits and wind chills falling as low as 5 below zero. By Friday, clouds return for most of the day with a high of 26. Light flurries will begin in the evening, leading to another round of potential heavy snow on Saturday. Saturday's high will reach 32 degrees with snow falling throughout the day. While this system won't be as intense as Wednesday's, we do expect an additional inch or two of accumulation. That snow will linger into Sunday morning, followed by breezy conditions. The rest of the day will stay cloudy with a high of 25. Please stay safe, avoid long-distance travel on Wednesday, and stay weather aware.
Well, thanks so much, Emmanuel. Time to pull out my snow boots again.
Absolutely. Super Bowl 59 was a blowout win for the Philadelphia Eagles, but that didn't stop Northwestern students from soaking in every minute of the big game at watch parties across campus. NNN's Katarzyna Nguyen stopped by a few to get a closer look at how NU students marked the occasion in different ways.
Across campus, Northwestern students and faculty alike tuned in to watch the Eagles' massive win over the Chiefs on Super Bowl Sunday. At Willard Residential College, the executive board and resident assistants held watch parties, complete with Super Bowl classics like pizza and wings.
Sort of have that fun, exciting atmosphere, even if you're rooting for different teams. At home, everyone's probably rooting for the same team, but here it's a little bit more varied.
The North area faculty and residents had a party dedicated to watching the halftime show, headlined by Kendrick Lamar with a guest appearance by SZA.
By just focusing on the halftime show, we feel like we're catering maybe to a different group of students who are not interested as much in the entire game.
Kemper Hall RA Sydney Schultz enjoyed the concept of having a watch party specifically for the halftime show because it gave students the opportunity to watch their favorite artists together.
People can stay and watch football if they're interested, and also they can just come for the music, and I thought that would be so cute, especially that it's a bunch of us, a bunch of people that I don't know, sitting in the room listening to the music together.
For many students, the Super Bowl watch parties were a way to bond with their campus neighbors in a unique way.
My parents were never big into sports, so I actually feel like coming here, I've had a really nice experience of actually getting to watch sports with other people and bond.
Katarzyna Nguyen, Northwestern News Network.
Thanks so much, Katarzyna. Well, Logan, I didn't get a chance to watch the Super Bowl yesterday, but I heard it was a good time. How was it?
You know, it was an interesting game. Not the most entertaining, I would say, but if you're an Eagles fan, you gotta like what you saw.
Right, I'm sure. Well, in other news, you may be able to enjoy a beer while watching ball at 2 more Northwestern sports venues. The city of Evanston approved a liquor license for softball's Sharon J. Drysdale Field and baseball's Rocky and Bernice Miller Park. Northwestern currently sells alcoholic beverages at Welsh Ryan Arena and Northwestern Medicine Field at Martin Stadium. We've reached out to Northwestern for more information about when fans can expect to see expanded beverage options available at these additional venues.
I sure am excited for Northwestern softball and baseball teams to take the field in Evanston in just a few weeks, but as we wait for that, there's plenty of other action to catch up on in sports. The men's basketball team has had a rough week with announcements of season-ending injuries to both Brooks Barnheiser and Jalen Leach. The Cats went to Washington Saturday night looking for their first Big Ten road win of the season. Despite their head coach Chris Collins getting ejected, the Cats battled to the very end but fell to the Huskies 76-71. On to the women's side, the Cats hosted the Lady Lions in Welsh Ryan Arena on Sunday. It was a back-and-forth game, and it saw things tied up going into the fourth. The Cats extended the lead to 12, but it got within one possession a few minutes later, and Northwestern managed to hold on and get its first conference win of the year. And taking you now to Ryan Fieldhouse, the Lake Show opens its season on Friday against Notre Dame, going up 8-1 in the first half. The Cats took the fight to the Irish, charging to a 13-10 victory. They carried this momentum into Sunday, where the Cats soared to a 20-goal victory over Canisius, one of the largest in program history. And finally, on the football front, the new Ryan Field's construction has hit a big milestone. Yesterday marked the installation of the first piece of concrete in the Stadium Bowl. At last check, the Northwestern new football stadium is still scheduled to open for the 2026 season.
Celebrating love around Evanston, whether it's with a partner or friends. 3 ways to spend your Valentine's Day after the break.
I'm Kelly McEvers, founding host of the NPR podcast Embedded.
I'm James Edwards, host of the Unresolved podcast from Frontline.
I'm Antonia Cereijido, former senior producer of Anything for Selena podcast and current executive producer at Elias Studios.
My narrative, since I've been locked up and kind of made my transition, has been like redemption, accountability.
When I come into the classroom environment, every individual that sits amongst me takes education seriously.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
Valentine's Day is almost here, and there are plenty of ways you'll be able to celebrate in Evanston, whether it's a fun outing or a sweet gift. NNN's Marcelo Cano has more on all there is to enjoy.
With customers looking for the perfect Valentine's Day gift, Seville Flowers in downtown Evanston says they're busier than ever.
People really do love classic roses, can't go wrong, but I think I've noticed more and more that people are getting into more like mixed floral arrangements.
But fresh blooms aren't the only way to show love.
Mainly we sell flowers and plants, but we have really special candles, crystals. We have all sorts of these fun special little add-ons.
For those looking to add music to their Valentine's Day plans, Animal Records is joining other shops in downtown Evanston's annual Chocolate Crawl, where visitors can explore local businesses while enjoying sweet treats and exclusive offers.
But we're also going to have specific giveaways, including Marvin Gaye records and a section of Valentine's Day slow jams and romantic music available.
Aiden Levine works at the record store and says they offer a way to enjoy the holiday without breaking the bank.
It's a super fun thing to just explore. The record store browsing is free. We have dollar records, we have $5 records.
But Valentine's Day isn't just for couples. Some celebrate with friends or solo.
You don't have to spend it alone. Maybe go out with your friends, do the Galentine's thing. Otherwise, if you are alone, just watch a good movie. I love a good rom-com.
For others, keeping it simple is key to a great Valentine's Day.
You don't have to do anything too crazy. Just
doing something y'all both enjoy, as long as it's the two of you and you're enjoying your time.
From flowers to vinyl to movie nights, there are plenty of ways to make Valentine's Day special right here in Evanston. Marcela Cano, Northwestern News Network.
If you're still looking for Valentine's Day plans or need any last-minute gifts, downtown Evanston's Love Local Chocolate Crawl will be on February 13th. Now, Logan, I heard you had some plans to buy some chocolate.
Yeah, you know, I am a huge dark chocolate fan, Anya, so I couldn't miss an opportunity to pick
Right.
up a few more pieces on this very important holiday.
Right, of course. And that's all the time we have tonight. I'm Ananya Chug.
And I'm Logan Schijano. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.